Good morning, and thank you all for being here today. Delora Jesus is a member of the Navajo Nation. Her family land allotment has been passed down through generations, and it sits atop an oil field that provides for her family. In 2019, Delora had to go before Congress to argue against restrictive setbacks that threaten her livelihood. The setback ignored the economic realities of families who rely on America's natural resources for income and stability. As a result, Delora dedicated herself to raising awareness about the American oil and gas industry, saying, "I believe in giving back and preserving the values that sustain us." Strong voices like Delora's help clarify the stakes of reversing restrictions on American oil and gas development and embarking on the American energy opportunity. We're honored to have Delora with us today. I tell this story because energy isn't just about lights and gasoline and cars. It's about our national security, economic resilience, and prosperity of families like Delora's. Smart decisions in Washington makes today will shape American families and businesses tomorrow. At this moment, we stand at a crossroads. What kind of energy future do we want? One where we lead, or one where we're left behind? As this election cycle made clear, energy was on the ballot, and American energy won. From coast to coast, voters embraced a future where American energy thrives, prioritizing our own resources over foreign imports, empowering consumers to make their own choices about what to drive and how to cook, streamlining permitting to support big projects, and ensuring our allies can rely on U.S. energy leadership instead of turning to our adversaries. And as we've seen and heard this morning, the stakes are very high, and no opportunity lives forever. History has shown that the pendulum of American politics swings quickly. So America's energy future begins now. As Winston Churchill urged during one of history's darkest hours, we must take action this day. Let's win the American energy opportunity before us. I'm optimistic that a pro-energy Washington will be able to get big things done for a couple of reasons. First, because the American people demand and deserve it. That's why API expanded our 5-point policy roadmap, which is meant to lay the groundwork for unlocking America's energy future. The second reason I'm optimistic is because the incoming administration and new Congress are focused on capitalizing on America's full energy potential, creating jobs, and reinforcing our nation's leadership on the global stage. They can do this by rolling back burdensome rules, reinstating pro-energy policies, and ensuring a clear framework that fosters growth and innovation. We also need to assume that agency actions have a short lifespan. Durable change happens through congressional action, especially when it's bipartisan. Leaders in Washington and in the states have the chance to deliver on the energy reforms that we need. With their support, we can cut through the red tape and chart a lasting path toward U.S. energy leadership. Today, I look forward to sharing the highlights of the API 5-point policy roadmap, which outlines critical actions that we need to take. Along the way, you're going to hear stories like those of Delora's, who embody the stakes of the moment that we're in. First up, protect consumer choice. In recent years, some in Washington have pushed to give a market advantage to electric vehicles. Instead, we want a future where Americans are free to choose the vehicles that work best for them, not for government. We believe that we can achieve shared objectives in a way that respects freedom, affordability, and practicality. Mandates shouldn't lift options or strain budgets. Let's ensure consumers can choose the transportation that works for them. It's about ensuring that Americans are free to choose what works while supporting innovation and American energy security. Take Kevin Boland. He's a dirt track racer from New Brighton, Pennsylvania, with 100-plus wins and a spot in the Beaver County Sports Hall of Fame. Kevin loves his work, his community, and his machine shop that specializes in engine repair. While he's not opposed to EVs, he values his ability to choose what fits his business, his budget, and his lifestyle. Kevin has spent his life working with internal combustion engines, from two-strokes to V8s, and his expertise powers not only his racing success, but also the livelihoods of those who depend on his shop. For Kevin and millions of other small business owners, reliable energy and consumer freedom are an essential ingredients of success. Kevin's story reflects the views of millions of Americans who don't want the government telling them what to do. This year, they spoke loud and clear about protecting their rights to pick the cars and trucks that they love. Kevin is here today, along with his brother, Keith. Thank you both for being with us. Now it's time for our leaders to act. We're asking the incoming administration to end the mandates that restrict consumer choice on the road. Second on our policy roadmap, we need to bolster American geopolitical strength. During the Trump administration, the first time, America achieved a historic milestone, becoming a net energy exporter. Yet in the middle of multiple wars in energy-critical regions and record-high global gas demand, one of the most promising opportunities for U.S. energy leadership was put on hold. The current administration's decision to halt permitting for liquefied natural gas exports created doubt about America's commitment to supporting allies and its global reputation as a reliable trade partner. American LNG exports have driven job creation, economic growth, and environmental benefits. Pausing new projects puts these advantages at risk, not just for the U.S., but for the world. The LNG pause sets up the incoming Trump administration for one of the easiest policy layups ever. Walk in on day one and hit the play button on American LNG again. End the pause, put people to work, and increase our competitive edge against China and Russia. As someone said earlier to me today, we need to chill, baby, chill. When it comes to bolstering geopolitical strength, American trade policy should reflect the importance of maintaining global energy flows, which includes U.S. exports as well as imports. Restoring American competitiveness, of course, is a worthy goal. The best way to do it is creating the conditions that enable us to produce energy freely. The third point on our roadmap is leveraging our natural resources. Last year, the U.S. did not have an offshore lease sale for the first time since 1966. And now, in its final days, the current administration has moved to ban new oil and natural gas development across 625 million acres of federal waters. This unilateral action reverses and ignores decades of bipartisan agreement to leverage our natural resources safely and responsibly. API urges policymakers to use every tool at their disposal to reverse this politically motivated decision and restore a pro-American energy approach to federal leasing. We also look forward to refreshed efforts to ensure that we have an offshore leasing program that is robust enough to secure America's energy future. Similarly, we need to resume strong production onshore. Congress should also repeal EPA's natural gas tax, which imposes costs on consumers and undermines our competitiveness. The fourth stop on the roadmap is one of the most pressing. Let's work with both parties to reform our permitting system once and for all. Since 2000, the time to move an energy infrastructure project to go from permit to operation has more than doubled. Many projects take a decade or more to approve or never happen at all. We tallied the costs from 10 pipelines and other major projects that were canceled because of permitting delays in the past few years, and we found $34 billion of capital expenditures. That's money that could have been channeled to innovation and to job creation. Permitting reform undermines every other aspect of our roadmap. It's the foundation of our progress. We can have the best laid plans, the best resources, and the best resolve, yet it means nothing if we can't move from blueprint to operation. That's why we support reform, which must include judicial reform, as well as changes to the National Environmental Policy Act and the Clean Water Act. It's time to move from rhetoric to action, working with Congress to pass meaningful, bipartisan permitting reform that benefits all Americans. Finally, our roadmap includes advancing sensible tax policy. In the first Trump administration, the President and Congress worked to pass pro-growth tax reform. They delivered policies like bonus depreciation, which acted as a proven economic booster, creating opportunities to lay thousands of miles of pipeline. Our industry took it from there. New investment, new innovation, new output, and helping America lower its emissions to levels that no other industrialized economy has seen. Extending key provisions like bonus depreciation will yield even greater results this time because they'll be paired with other policies within our roadmap. They'll ensure energy investments occur here, not China. And they'll ensure that we don't merely maintain the 11 million jobs our industry currently supports, but that we add more to them in the decades to come. API proudly works with partners like North America's building trades unions to ensure that they have good-paying jobs to support American families. Speaking of family, Alta Baker is a small business owner from Louisiana. She builds blast-resistant structures for a range of entities, from providing shelter to the military to protecting Americans overseas. She also partners with the American oil and gas industry. She credits pro-growth policies with giving her business the stability it needs to thrive. In fact, Alta told me that API's resources, including more than 800 industry standards and supplier workshops, have strengthened her company's safety training programs and equipped her with valuable tools to compete and to win. Today, Alta is preparing to pass her business on to her daughter, Vicki, ensuring that a legacy of hard work and dedication flows to the next generation. Alta and Vicki are here with us today. Let's give them a round of applause for all they've accomplished and the legacy that they're building. Let's work together to create a tax environment that fosters innovation and secures our energy future for decades to come. As we look ahead to Inauguration Day, Alta, Vicki, Kevin, Keith, and Delora remind us what's at stake. As we take action this day, let's keep their stories in mind. Let's protect Kevin's right to choose what car to drive. Let's honor Delora's dedication to preserving the values that sustain her family and her community. Let's maintain a pro-growth tax reform framework that enables small businesses like Alta's to continue to thrive. And most importantly, let's seize the American energy opportunity to deliver the bold leadership that our nation demands and deserves. America's energy future begins now. Let's seize it. Thank you.